Caroline Glachan was found dead close to her home in Bonhill. No one has ever been charged with her murder, and the motive for her killing still remains unexplained.
She was just your typical teenage girl. Music and boys and makeup and not doing what she's told. She was by no means perfect and, did everything she was told. She didn't. You tell me a teenager that does.
Her and Margaret were really, really close. They were really close. They were best friends also.
Very family orientated. Our family were very much her family, that meant an awful lot to her. She wouldn't like an intrusion in her family.
The question, which I think is important, a person would ask, what's a 14-year-old doing wandering around in a rundown area where drug use and crime is a problem?
I think there was an element that the child was allowed to virtually go their own way and find their own way through life, and at the tender age of 14, that's a challenge anyway. So I don't think there was the boundaries that normally are associated with 14-year-olds. I don't believe that young Caroline had those. I believe she was a bit of a free spirit, to be fair.
I was the quiet one. Caroline was the more confident of the two. But we were just full of fun and daftness. She would coax me on better because I wasn't really confident. There's drug use everywhere, not just in council estates, all over the country. Teenagers drink, but we were never part of any drug taking. We wouldn't take drugs at all.
She smoked. I think she thought I didn't know, and I dare say she had a try at the alcohol. I never saw any evidence of that.
Her lifestyle and the location suggested that she was vulnerable, and particularly the timing and her little journey again increased that vulnerability.
Yeah, I mean, being out at that time of night, if you're looking at this kind of community with those sorts of problems, these aren't people who keep regular hours, and they're not necessarily all going to be tucked up in bed at midnight. So perhaps she stumbled across something that was unfolding on that pathway, who knows? But there are so many other factors that come into play when you're not dealing with predictable communities.
One of the things we do know about the people she was hanging around with is that one of them had become her boyfriend. He was 18 and lived in Renton, close to the River Leven. Caroline's mother, Margaret, and her friend Joanne disapproved of the relationship, and in particular of the age gap.
I never liked him. He was never nice. He was never what a boyfriend should be.
I didn't care for him at all, and I did see him one day in the town centre, and I warned him to stay away from her.
He was far too old. Some people say it's only 4 years, but 4 years is a lot. When you're 14 and 18, is a big difference.
On the night of Caroline's death, Margaret was celebrating with her friends. It was her birthday, and she decided to go out for a few drinks. She agreed that Joanne could come and stay the night with Caroline.
They were hanging about this shopping mall area, as kids quite often did because they had nowhere else to go.
These are the last images of Caroline seen here with Joanne. They were taken at the local shopping centre.
It was called Ladyton, very popular area for the kids, and she was out there with mates and they decided to go to one of the friends' house.
But it appears Caroline had other plans that night. Plans which she told no one about until she decided to leave. At around 11:30, Caroline told Joanne she was going to see her boyfriend in Renton and intended upon walking this river path to get there. But Joanne, knowing how Margaret would react if Caroline was late, tried to get her to stay.
And I pleaded, don't leave me. in case your mum comes in, she'll go absolutely mad at me.
Margaret arrived back to her flat in the early hours.
I went into the bedroom, but she wasn't there. Joanne was there. Obviously waiting for Caroline. Of course, I came in and I asked them where she was.
Straight away, I told Margaret where she said she was going. And she said, right, okay, you just stay there, which I did in the morning. I got up, got ready and left early. It was strange why she wasn't there.
She left Joanne perhaps just before 11. Obviously that was the last time Joanne ever saw her.
The walk from Bonhill took her through the town, down to the Black Bridge, over the Leven and out onto the towpath, on her way to Renton, a mile or so further on. Early on the Sunday afternoon, a local man spotted what he thought was a tailor's dummy in the water. Along with some local children, he investigated, and they soon made their gruesome discovery.
She was beaten up, she was stomped. The actual cause of death was drowning. She was alive when she was left there, and nobody cared.
She fell into the water, and her body was submerged in the water. It is known that after the attack, she was left in the river and she was still alive. So she's been attacked, seriously injured, probably rendered unconscious.
There would have been a lot of blood. How she was still alive when she entered that river is almost a question mark in itself, because I don't know if she would have survived anyway.
I pushed them out of the way. When I actually finally got the guts to go up to Margaret's and she opened the door and said to me, "She's not back yet, Joanne." And then I went back downstairs, because it was a flat, and I thought, I need to tell her that they're saying that Caroline's been found dead.
The exact number is around about 6 people who police believe and who the family believe may have some information, who may have seen Caroline on the Bonhill side of the river and may have seen her walk along the river.
The most significant of these is a man wearing a green hoodie top seen close by at the time. He was said to have sharp features and was aged between 20 and 25. Is this the man that Caroline met on the towpath?
It was a taxi driver. Say they'd seen a man dressed in similar sort of hooded top running in the town with another young man.
But that person has never been identified. They've never come forward. Is that person a suspect? Is that the last person to see Caroline? This was a crime committed by somebody who knew the victim, somebody from the local area, somebody who knew the geography of the local area, somebody who knew the geography of the river path which was attacked and found dead, and almost certainly somebody from the Bonhill Renton area.
I do have a few names in my head, but that's speculation, which I can't openly say, but I do have, and I think if they were watching this, I'm quite sure they would know who I'm thinking of. They'll know.
Had Caroline somewhat unwittingly become a drugs mule for an older group she was spending more and more time with? And was she perhaps carrying drugs in her shoes? It's not such an outlandish theory as it might first appear.